G'day guys, welcome back to another Chats with Colsey podcast. Colsey here. Got a great guest today. We're going to get into all things around the Bondi attack and how it impacted him. But I want to let you guys know before we get into it, Tony Gibson is one of the best musicians in Australia. He went to the Sydney Conservatorium. He studied there, played trombone, and played the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. So this guy is a professional musician, one of the best in Australia. And we're going to hear from some music from him in a little while. We want to get these songs out to Australia for everyone to enjoy. But without further ado, he goes by the name Trombone Tone on Instagram, Facebook, and on the socials. So thanks for coming in, Trombone Tone. Tony Gibson, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, cool, Tony.
Good to see you.
Tony has driven all the way down from his coastal town today, down to Sydney for today, but went on Bondi, December 14th, wasn't it?
December 14th, 2025, yeah.
So you were there, Tony. You were at Bondi. You were living there, I believe. And,
living on Bondi Road.
Tell us your recollections of that day, and and we'll get into how it's impacted you, your business, your life, and everything like that. But on that day, tell us what your recollections were. What were you doing at the time, and just the feelings and the emotions and what you saw and witnessed and experienced on that day.
Okay, so I was living on Bondi Road, and as I normally do, I go for a surf, but also maybe write a little song idea. Yes. So I was sitting at home, and just before I went for a surf, I started writing a song idea, which is the song I'm going to play later.
Is that right?
Right. And so the song and the words that I wrote that day were, before I went for the surf, were, yesterday was fine, it's the day that we lost our minds, right? And then the second verse, which I wrote before I went for a surf, was, yesterday was fine, it's the day I lost my mind, so come along now, we've got to be strong now to sing your song now. That's what I wrote before I went for a surf.
You wrote all of that before you went for the surf?
Yeah.
And yeah, I've heard this song a number of times, guys, and I heard it probably 6 months ago. I'm not sure when I first heard it, but immediately when I heard it, Tony, I thought this is a beautiful song, and it just really resonated. And the melody, it's very catchy and it's very emotional, and it really captures the feeling of a sunny day on Bondi. So it impacted me really straight away, and it only takes 2 or 3 times of listening to this song and the melody, and you'll have it in your head. So I just want to tell you that as well, because and I think when you first played it, I don't think you were. I'm not sure if it was that event where in Sydney, but you weren't. It wasn't. You weren't set up very well. You weren't very organised and everything.
Position.
But I could tell there was something about that song. So yeah, everyone have a listen soon. But yeah, this is quite incredible. So
yesterday wrote that song, was fine. It's that day we lost our minds.
You wrote that song on that day.
Yes, before the shooting. Yeah, 4 hours before the shooting.
So you're sitting there, you're writing a song, and then how does the day unfold?
So straight away I went to the beach, and it's just like a 15-minute walk down to the beach from Bondi Road where I was living.
Yeah.
So basically wrote the song, did a little video. I think I even put it on Instagram, this tiny little video on my stories of the song. Then I went to the beach, and normally when I go to the beach, I like to leave my phone and watch at home and just have a time just, with God in the surf.
Yeah, so disconnect.
Went down there, went for a surf. God knows how long I was in the surf for. But for some reason at 6:30, I felt like I had to get out of the surf.
Right.
Which was just before the shooting started happening.
Wow.
So as I was walking home, which takes 15 minutes to get home, as I got up just on the little hill there, I was walking on the quiet streets.
So you've got your surfboard with you?
My bodyboard.
Bodyboard, yeah.
I started hearing gunshots, and it takes 15 minutes to walk home. I'm going, what the hell is that? And I thought maybe it's a car backfiring, and then it just kept going and going. I'm like, how the hell, if that's gunshots, how is that still going for 15 minutes? Because I know Bondi, right? There's cops everywhere in Bondi.
So this is very interesting, Tony. For you, the gunshots seem to go for 15 minutes?
Around about as long as it takes for me to walk home. The whole walk home. And remember, I didn't have a watch or anything. The timing's just crazy. I got out of the surf, walking home.
That's how long it takes you to get home.
Yeah, and then I got home, and by the time I walked up my stairs, I looked out my window, which is above Bondi Road, and there was just sirens just pouring down the road. And I sat there in my apartment because I was living on my own all night, listening to sirens almost all night.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't go back and have a look?
I didn't go back down till the next day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah. It was heavy.
So when you were in the water at the beach, was it a Saturday or was it a Sunday?
It was a Sunday.
It was a Sunday. Was it? Because I've been to Bondi.
Sunday.
Remember, this is for people around Australia too. Not everyone's familiar with Bondi and everything. So Tony was a Bondi local at the time. So was it? I imagine a normal, very busy Sunday.
Yeah, I mean it was. It was summertime and the holidays were just starting. The school holidays were pretty much just starting, so it was pretty busy. Just a normal.
Yeah. Was it starting to thin
Sunday.
out? Was it starting to thin out because it's 6:30, but the sun stays up late in the summer, doesn't it?
That's what I remember when I was walking just up this little bit of Bondi Road before I go into the quiet streets. I remember thinking, "Oh my God, it's busy today, like really busy." And I was thanking God when I walked up onto the quiet street. Thank God I got away from all that busyness because it did feel heavy. There was a heavy feel. As soon as I got up onto the quiet street.
Yeah, it's a busy beach, and it's a big beach too. So, did you have any awareness, or did you sort of see the Hanukkah event, or
I had no idea the Hanukkah event was going on?
Yeah, you weren't.
I've got a lot of Jewish friends,
but you don't have any memory of looking over that way and seeing who the people were in that area of the park.
I just remember thinking it was really busy that day. Right. It's good to get away actually.
So you were at ground zero there. The next day and for the period after that, obviously the media was 24/7 at that time, and I suppose it was fairly well cut off for a few days. Were you able to walk down there the next day?
The next day I went down there and the beach was completely empty because they'd fenced everything off. It was kind of like COVID.
So you couldn't go to the beach at all?
I still walked down to the sand. There was still a few people in the corner on the sand.
Okay.
So you were allowed on the beach, but there was just I think maybe... No, they hadn't fenced it off like COVID, actually. It was just nobody was there. No one wanted to go there. And then they started bringing flowers out.
I remember all the flowers out beside the pavilion.
Yeah, I was sitting at Lamb Rock Cafe and I'm thinking, there's another birds with flowers, So I thought, I might just follow them. And I bought some flowers, and I knew what they were doing. Bought some flowers on the way and went down there, put the flowers down there, had a bit of a cry. I know a lot of Jewish people, I've been living in Bondi 20 years or so.
Yeah, so that's, for people outside of Sydney, the Jewish community is predominantly in the eastern suburbs and the Bondi area. It's known for that, and so you would have a lot of connections and know a lot of the people in that community.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, I didn't get doxed from that, right? I got doxed from going to a Jewish protest a few months earlier.
Right. So let's get into this, Tony.
In September.
So we've covered the day, the Bondi massacre itself. So Tony was there on the day. But after that, it's had a massive impact on Tony, his personal life, his business. And so let's get into that. So you're saying, you weren't in problem for that, but after that, you showed support to the Jewish community and your friends, and you had problems in your personal life and business life. And let's get into that.
Yeah, I got doxed because I'd been silent since COVID, because COVID fucked me around. So I've been silent on my socials. I was just doing gigs.
So you've been silent?
As much gigs as I could possibly do just to make money.
So Sydney, so you were a big gigger around Sydney.
I was basically making my living from playing music, like doing 5 or 6 gigs a week.
Yeah.
And places like Repercussions in Bondi had me on the weekends, and there's a venue in Manly called Donny's who had me every Saturday almost.
Right.
They had 13 gigs booked ahead of when I got doxed. So basically, in September, 3 days before Charlie Kirk got shot, the pro-Palestinians thought they'd come down to Bondi Beach and have a vigil. Mm-hmm. So there they were on Bondi Beach on a Sunday as well, screaming their intifada, like death to the Jews. And so a whole bunch of Jews and some locals went down. There was mostly Jews. There must have been like 500 of us just screaming at them. And the Sydney Morning Herald filmed me telling some Muslims to go back to Lakemba. Mm-hmm. And they put that on their Sydney Morning Herald Instagram, which has now got 7 million views, that video. And from that video, I got doxed by basically the pro-Palestinian group, and they went around town, called all the venues I was playing at, and telling them that I'm a racist. And almost all the venues, dropped me straight away like a hot cake.
Wow. Tony, that is an incredible story.
I've lost thousands of dollars, and I'm probably still losing thousands Because I would have, if that hadn't have happened, I would still be doing what I was
You'd
doing.
still be in Bondi, still gigging and living that life. But to me, what hits me from what you're saying is this Palestinian Action Group, really, they are, if you don't know Sydney, you've got the Western Sydney and the eastern suburbs, and they're in different worlds in many ways. So for them to take their protest to Bondi Beach, it's like
disgusting.
Going to it's like the Gaza people going into Israel. It's unnecessary. It's provocative.
That's what it was.
The word in my mind is provocative. That was like
it shouldn't have been
stirring up
allowed.
trouble, going into someone else's neighbourhood and shouting their own protests and basically calling for the genocide of the people who live in that area. It's so provocative. And so, of course, the locals and yourself were telling them to nick off. And then...
And the craziest thing is, all this happened the same day Charlie Kirk got shot. So I'm lying around at home, not doing any gigs, just going, I'm just going to speak up now. I'm just going to speak up.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and I think Bondi did that for a lot of Australians, because we've stood back quietly and we're very accepting and everything, but things have gone too far. And you know why they've gone too far? Because they are so provocative. And because it's funny, the media and the corporates and the government try to paint the right side of people as the trouble stirrers or the confronters or the things, but that's totally not the case at all. We have been pushed right to the edge by their provocation.
I haven't changed. Yeah. We haven't changed. Our thoughts haven't changed. My beliefs haven't changed. It's the left who's changed.
And it wasn't the right wing. The Jews never went to Lakemba and shot people up, did they?
No.
It was the opposite way around. These people are coming to Bondi Beach. They're coming to take over and to chase the Jews and to destroy the Australian way of life. And so they're provoking it. And I'm concerned about this anti-Semitism Royal Commission, that they're still dancing around that issue. And they're still acting as if both sides are equal. When the Bondi massacre was done by the Islamic ideology, and that is what they're there to try and contain and fix. But they're trying to act as if there's Islamophobia and all of these things as well.
It's an absolute mess.
Yeah, so you were doxxed, you lost your regular gigs.
So I had two jobs. I was conducting school bands. I was conducting Bondi Public School Band and Bronte Public School Band, and then I was also teaching some kids at their home, but also doing gigs. So I was making really good money. Basically, what happened was the day after the massacre, I went to school, to Bondi Public School, turned up in the morning there to teach the primary school kids. This 10-year-old girl comes in and she goes, "Mr. Gibson, yesterday I missed out on getting shot by 70 metres." She was just a normal little Bondi white girl, right? And it just struck me, and I was like, I think this is the result of wokeism. I don't want to support the woke school system anymore, so I basically just quit teaching because all my gigs had gone, and I'm not passionate about teaching as much as doing gigs, and I just sort of went, I'm out of here, man. Got to get out of here. Because I wasn't peaceful, but also what happened was, because I became the go back to the Lakemba man, and I felt like everyone knew who I was, after the shooting, I actually felt scared for my life, because there was some friends of mine on the beach who were part of the Palestinian group who organised the posters for the whole thing. And so after the shooting happened, I was just like,
you don't feel safe.
I'm next.
Yeah.
I'm the back to Lakemba man.
Well, you know what they say, that the Muslims, right, they come first for the Jews, then they come for the Christians and everyone else.
Yeah.
So that's what Australia needs to wake up and realise. So they went to Bondi, took out the Jews. So who was next? You were next.
Maybe
exactly.
me.
Well, you were the one who was doxxed. You were the one who was put up on the Instagram reel as let's go back to Lakemba.
I was the man. I started putting weapons under my bed, like getting a wrench and putting a rope on it, just to really? Putting a knife on the other side, because the people who knew me, some of my ex-students' parents were in the pro-Palestinian group. Right. They started sending me, and I got death threats and everything from people. I went to the police and everything about all this. And it was just like, everyone knew who I was. Because living in Bondi for 20 years, teaching at the local schools and everything, and doing gigs around Bondi, I'd walk around Bondi and it'd be just like, Mr. Gibson, hey, how you going? So I had to get out of there.
Mate, this is unbelievable, isn't it? Like, your response to what happened at Bondi was totally rational, totally normal, and yet they've ruined your life and doxed you and harassed you for having a normal reaction of extremists coming to your beach, to your neighbourhood, shooting at the local community, and yet because you weren't happy about that, they've made you a target.
Exactly.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And I went to the police about it, and the police lady said, right, this really nice young police lady, the words were that my superiors have told me there's nothing we can do about it. She didn't say the law says there's nothing we can do about it. She said my superiors have said there's nothing we can do about it. And then as I was leaving, she said, don't stop fighting.
Right. And just to clarify for the audience, you're not Jewish of ethnicity at all? No, but you're
British background, Scottish.
Yeah, and traditionally us
White Aussie
British people, we support Israel, and you had lots of Jewish friends there, and you reacted normally, as anyone would when they come to your neighbourhood and shoot up your community, and then they flipped it around and made you the target and made you pay. And this is, so if you think you're not impacted by terrorism or Islam, you really have to. The amount of extra security that Australians are needed, and the amount of businesses that were affected from that, it's rippled around the community and the society, and you're a prime example of that. And
that's what I've been trying to get people aware of. Like, there was let's just say a white Aussie man there who got shot that day. He was a Catholic man taking photos. He was the only non-Jewish man who got shot that day. But it could have been anyone. It could have been the little 10-year-old girl who came in to the band rehearsal the next morning, who's just, a normal white Aussie girl. And that's why when I found out that Matilda had died, who I went to her funeral, one of my Jewish friends invited me to Matilda's funeral, and so then I finished the song, and the bridge is all about Matilda.
I was going to ask you, part of the song mentions Matilda.
Well, it doesn't mention her name, but the bridge is all about Matilda.
Interesting. Okay, so the song. Let's get into the song. It's really, it was written on that day, and it's become inspired all around that. It's sort of it references Matilda, but it's not all about Matilda. It's all about the impact of that day on the Australian culture.
Well, it's pretty simple. The first verse is about how Australia lost our mind over this whole stuff with the free speech laws and that, hate speech laws, and then the second verse is about how I lost my mind because people were saying, "Are you okay?"
Right.
Because all of a sudden I'm just like post stories, and people like, "Are you okay, man?" And I'm like, "You think I've lost my mind?"
Mm-hmm.
And then the bridge is about Matilda, and then the last verse used to be about how I lost my mind, but I changed it to just how it's the day that stands still in time, and that we all really need to think very seriously about what happened that day, because otherwise it's going to keep happening, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
I like you did a film clip of it, which was sort of animated, but it's like a beach. It's not Bondi Beach perfectly, is it? But it's had the bee going into the water.
Yeah, it's the first film clip I ever did.
Very nice, yeah.
I'm quite proud of it. I just used grok.
Hopefully in the coming week I'll probably try and put that up again on the stories or something like that, and maybe have a link for people to access the song as well. They can download that. Where would they download that from?
It's on most platforms. It's definitely on Spotify and Apple Music.
And what's it called?
Yesterday.
By
Trombone Tone.
By Trombone Tone, because you were trained as a trumpet player.
So
Tell us about your early career. Yeah.
So I grew up playing piano and euphonium, which is a brass instrument, and then I got a scholarship on the euphonium when I was 15 years.
I have never heard of a euphonium.
It's like a small tuba. Like, it's got the same mouthpiece as a trombone.
I might have to Google that later.
Right.
Yeah.
And I played it to the nth degree and got a scholarship to boarding school.
Amazing.
Playing euphonium, and as soon as I got to boarding school, she goes, "Oh, there's no future for the euphonium, you should play trombone." So 2 years away from...
But they gave you a scholarship.
They gave me a scholarship. And the first lesson, no future, you're on trombone. That's exactly what happened. So the trombone chose me, I didn't choose it.
Wow.
And then 2 years later, I was in the conservatorium studying to be a trombonist in orchestras. And then 2 years after that, I was in the Sydney Symphony Orchestra playing trombone as a casual next to my teacher, who was a tyrant, who I was scared of, didn't enjoy it, and then I quit. I was just like, I'm out of here, man.
So when you got the scholarship, and then they told you to do trombone, is it because they saw a musical talent, a musical gift?
I think so.
Yeah, right. Because you went on to the what's the word? The Sydney
Conservatorium,
which I know I'm not really in that field of that area, but I've heard the conservatorium, the music conservatory. You have to be very good to get into the conservatorium.
Yeah, you do.
Like you have to be quite exceptional and committed and gifted to get into that. So you were there for how long?
3 years.
Is that a bachelor degree or what is that?
Yeah, it was a diploma that I did. It was a 3-year diploma of performance on the trombone.
Right.
And my teacher was the principal trombonist of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. So, and he used to make me cry in my lessons.
Really?
I remember one lesson, he goes, "Flop, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Don't you want to be in the Sydney Symphony Orchestra?" And I'm like, well, in my head thinking, well, I'm kind of just here because I'm a good boy and I'm doing what Mum told me to do. And then he goes, "You've got loads more talent than anybody else out there in that corridor. You should be doing 6 hours practice a day." And that's what I went and did. And then 2 years later, I was in the Sydney Symphony.
6 hours? That he's a tyrant.
I did 6 hours a day.
Did you really?
Yeah. 2 in the morning,
How are your lips,
2 in the
mate?
middle of the day, 2 in the afternoon.
And when you say trombone and trumpet, are they similar? I played, I told you this before, I had a couple of years of lessons on trumpet, year 8, year 9. I can play the scale. I didn't really have much talent. But you play both.
Yeah, trumpet
How does that work?
is the same kind of approach because it's a brass instrument.
Yeah.
But the mouthpiece is a lot smaller, so you kind of got to develop the muscles in a different way to trombone. So 15 years ago, I came back from England and someone gave me some trumpet students, and so I just stayed a step ahead of them.
So before that, when you were at the conservatorium and that, you didn't play trumpet. Okay.
I taught myself.
Yeah, right. And now you play guitar. Anything else?
So now I'm a one-man band. I play guitar, trumpet, trombone with my stomp box, and that's what I do kind of for a living.
You've got another gig this afternoon.
I've got a gig this afternoon.
Gigging regularly, so yeah, look up Trombone Tone and book him for your events because he's a great guy and he stands up for the community and for what's right, especially in this time after Bondi where we're really finding that the different ideologies are not compatible, and we want to make sure we're calling out the one that did that Bondi attack. And Tony suffered a lot of business loss because of that, and you're quite outspoken on the socials about that issue, which is great. It shows a lot of support for the Australian community and for the Jewish community as well, but just for the best interest of Australia, isn't it?
I think so. I just don't think Islam mixes with Judeo-Christian values.
And I think we need to shout this out to our leaders, to the government, because they don't know how to deal with it, and they would rather sweep it under the rug and do nothing. But so we need to voice it up so they can't have that plausible deniability. I don't know how they have the plausible deniability after what happened on Bondi, to be honest, but they still want to act as if all bad elements are the same and we're dealing with everything. No, there is this one element that we need to deal with now, and but they're still not attacking it hard enough.
Well, they didn't even mention extreme Islam.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Albanese, in all his speeches, apparently the few weeks after the attack, didn't mention it once.
Weak and spineless, yeah. And he's got that voting base. He's got them in his pocket, in Tony Burke's pocket. He's the puppet for the Lakemba district. How can he be the Minister for Citizenship and Immigration?
He owns a $16 million mansion in Bellevue Hill, Tony Burke.
Why doesn't he go and live with his voters in
I know,
Lakemba?
right?
Yeah.
He sits up there in his mansion, but his electorate is Lakemba.
I have a special disdain for Tony Burke. Tony butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, Burke. He really, being in Western Sydney, you hear a lot of things that happen in Western Sydney, how he rushes citizenship ceremonies through before elections.
He gives the name Tony a bad name.
He does.
So does Anthony Albanese, because he's a Tony as well, right?
Is your name Anthony?
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Is anyone called Tony just Tony, or are they all Anthony? It's like Andy,
I'm pretty
sure.
Tony's short for Anthony.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about, now you've been outspoken on the socials and things, even the reactions from your family and your personal contacts and that sort of thing. I know you've spoken out about that.
I've lost a lot of friends.
Like even when I post something in support of Israel or calling out Islam, you will get even Aussies. A lot of younger Aussies seem to have a negative feeling about Israel and the Jews, and they don't understand that they're really siding with Nazis. They're siding with Islam, and that is the problem. They can't sort of see that they're actually on the dark side.
Well, my own daughter the other day, she's 23 and she sings and stuff. She's in a band up in Brisbane, and she doesn't ever post anything political. But I woke up the other day, and she posted Mum Dani's last speech, which was basically saying that Netanyahu is a war criminal.
Right.
She posted that, and I woke up to it. I'm just like, oh no, what do I say? Like, what do I do? Because she knows how I stand, because I'm really against Mum Dani.
Yeah.
So basically, I've lost contact with her after that, because we just had an argument about it. She doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
Yeah, it seems to be a sensitive issue, doesn't it? I don't know why these white Westerners are protecting this incompatible foreign ideology. It kind of doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, mate.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
They're just brainwashed.
Yeah. I did a reel this morning how Islam is using the other causes, like the Aboriginal causes or the woke gender ideologies or the homosexuals. They'll jump on board with anything convenient on the left. Lydia Thorpe will join in and the Muslims all join together. But the reality is the Muslims aren't that way inclined at all. They would throw those people off the roof over there in the Middle East, and that it's just relationships of convenience. And these woke people, maybe like the universities people, the younger people, they're all out there defending Islam. But once Islam gets strong enough, Islam won't have anything to do with them. You either accept it or you pay tax or you get eliminated. But these woke people are trying to defend that ideology, and they don't quite understand that it's not the same as everything else. And that the only way that people have their freedoms for their woke ideologies is the Christian culture and the conservative culture, which allows the freedom of belief and thought and speech.
Yeah, I know, right? Christianity allows the freedom, so we bring all these people in, and then we get swamped. It's crazy, man.
That's incredible. So Tony, keep up the good work with what you're doing online and keep spreading the message. We are up against it, but I think the more people that speak out, it's a little bit like the mass immigration thing. I really feel like part of my role is to speak out against it, just to help people raise their voice, because Australians are quite laid back, and I don't want the government having this plausible deniability, right, that they say, well, we didn't really know no one was shouting out about these problems, so we're not going to do anything. No, you need to raise your voice and push back, and that encourages other people to push back, and the more people that speak up, it's harder to target individuals, and the momentum grows. So
I've become quite a conspiracy theorist over the last 6 or 7 years, because COVID as well really fucked me over.
But is it conspiracy or is it the truth?
Well, I think it's the truth. After COVID fucked me over.
What happened there, John?
Well, I just didn't take the vax. I got put in jail. I got put in jail for 9 days in Silverwater Jail, which is the highest security jail in the land, because 20 of us went and stood outside our local council chambers in Bondi, socially distanced, masked, within our LGA, just standing there. The riot police marched in 2 by 2, about 20 of them, gave us a move on order, and I said, I don't believe I'm doing anything wrong, officer. Next minute, I'm in Silverwater Jail, no sunlight for 9 days, no phone calls for 9 days, and in the last 48 hours, I got put into solitary confinement into the loony bin with all the crazy people, and then somehow I got out. Mum paid $3,000 to get a lawyer to get me out.
Unbelievable. That would send you around the bend. That makes you lose all trust in the process, in authorities.
I lost all trust in my government.
Yeah,
I've lost all
that
trust.
Is traumatising.
I do not trust the Australian government, Liberal or Labor, one single bit anymore. Don't trust them.
Yeah, that is a problem.
I don't believe anything they say.
And all those other 20 people, did they get the same treatment?
No.
No?
4 of us got arrested. One of them was a 60-year-old Jewish man. The police tackled him to the ground and broke his shoulder, and then he later killed himself.
Wow.
Because he couldn't put his life back together, because we got stigmatised during COVID. And I got put all over the news, all over Channel 9 News. I was national news. Right. That's how my mum found out about it. They made an example, I think, of me because they knew that I was well known around the area.
Right. Was there any charges laid or upheld?
The charge was being involved in an illegal gathering, but at the end I didn't come out with a criminal record, which was the silver lining, I suppose. I just came out with a fine Because none of that was law. It was all mandates.
9 days in prison.
Silverwater jail, 9 days.
Do you have any recourse on that? Or I suppose that they
Recourse?
like in terms of they shouldn't have done that?
No apologies, mate. They never apologised.
Yeah.
They never apologised, mate. And I could have taken them to court,
Yeah,
but I talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer said, mate, this could open the floodgates. They are desperate to not open the floodgates of compensation, and they will do whatever it takes to stop you. And he said, do you have family? And I'm like, well, yeah. He goes, you might want to think seriously about this. Like, he kind of talked me out of it. Me and, because I got locked up with another guy who got arrested at the same protest. That was also the positive. We both got put into the same cell together for 9 days, and he ended up being almost my age, and we just joked around the whole time. So that was the good thing. He was, and because it was COVID, it was quarantine, so we had to stay together for the whole time. Otherwise, they were breaking their COVID rules.
Yeah, but the legal process is a punishment, and sometimes it's just who has the more money. So once you start something like that, I can understand. And then he's almost saying there's threats on people you know. Yeah.
No, I could take them to court. I could take the people who doxed me after that Jewish protest last year to court. There's heaps of people I could take to court about these things we're talking about. But I don't want to spend my time.
5 years, yeah, your life.
I went to court once with a lawyer for a totally different. I know it's crazy. My life's crazy. For a totally different thing, I had to take a lawyer to court, and we sat in court all day for them in the afternoon to say, "Sorry, mate, there's no time for us to hear you. We have to come back tomorrow." And I paid the lawyer all day to sit in court.
Yeah, that's the legal system. I think the lawyers and the judges are the ones getting paid.
They're all mates.
Yeah. And tell us, Tony, you've had a crazy life. Like you're in.
I've never done anything wrong. Like I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, right? I've never done anything wrong, right? But I got put in jail the first time overnight. This whole why I went to court. It's a whole other story. Probably shouldn't get into it, but the whole premise of them arresting me the first time was I said to the cops, "Macca's is fucking shut cunts," and apparently that's acting offensively in a public place, and they fucking fined me for it.
That's just genuine Aussie lingo, isn't it?
He goes, "Go home, eat some food," and I said, "How am I meant to eat food when Macca's is fucking shut cunts?" Next minute, the 10 cops who had surrounded me put me on the ground, gouged my eyes, and threw me in the paddy wagon and told me to get in there, cunt.
Yeah. That is incredible. And you've lived the wild musician life as well. You're telling me before you've gone through the years of substance abuse and things like that.
Yeah, I did quite a bit of substance.
You've come clean now, but tell us a bit about that journey. And
I grew up a Christian, and I used to wear shirts like Hugs Not Drugs when I was at the conservatorium, right? And the brass boys would go and smoke weed and do bongs while we're on camp, and I wouldn't do it, right? But then when I quit the Sydney Symphony, and Mum said, "Well, you don't have a home here anymore," I kind of just broke. And then I started doing drugs and marijuana. I've been doing marijuana for like 25 years, almost every day.
Wow.
And but yeah, I definitely got into the party scene. I joined a rock band, started a rock band when I was in my early 20s, and we did ecstasy every weekend. And I've done ice. I've done almost all the drugs. I've done cocaine. Cocaine became a big problem for a while.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole, because cocaine sort of makes me feel like a real horny. Like a horn bag, basically.
Yeah, aphrodisiac.
But yeah, I got mixed up in all that, bro. So, but these days, I've just come back to Jesus big time, especially after Charlie Kirk got shot. All I see is Jesus is the answer. He's the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah, you've got strong convictions. I can see within you like what's right and wrong, and you've been quite a genuine, honest, sort of open person, and that's just been part of your lifestyle. The substances, it wasn't about necessarily being rebellious or anything like that. It was just part of the lifestyle. And
it's like musos. Let's have a spliff. Next minute we've done some ecstasy, and I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah. And then you've just gone through that period of life. You've had these pretty extreme events happen that have sort of sobered you up or snapped you back.
Kind of woke me up.
Yeah, woke you up.
Especially COVID.
Right.
Since COVID, I haven't done many drugs there.
Yeah.
I've just gone, wait a minute, something's really wrong with this country.
Yeah.
And I've kind of just gone, and also, because, life was easy before COVID. Everyone was cruising. Nothing bad ever happened in Australia.
Yeah.
And I never saved any money. I was just like, it's great. We live in Australia. And it's the lucky country. And then after COVID, I was like, shit, I have to start saving money for a rainy day. Yeah. And then the rainy day happened last year where I lost all my work. So thank God I'd saved heaps of money.
So what did you do during COVID? Like, did you get the government grants, the COVID grants?
No, because my tax wasn't.
So you didn't get grants? How did you survive COVID? Yeah. Because was there gigs? There wasn't.
I taught online.
Any live gigs?
I was online teaching.
Yeah, well.
And then towards the end
That's
of
right.
COVID,
Online was massive, wasn't it? Even the kids. I remember my kids were doing even school online for months. Everything went online, didn't it? It was incredible time. Yeah.
No, I did taught online. That's how I got through.
Yeah.
But
no, well, mate, it's awesome to have you on here, Tony. He's one of the best musicians in Australia, and the main song is the one reflecting on Bondi and how it's affected Australia. It's called Yesterday. Check it out, enjoy it today. I just want to thank Tony for coming down and get around him, support him, and let's make this song big and make it iconic as it references Bondi, Australia's response, Matilda, and really memorialises that. Good on you, Tony. Thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yesterday was fine. It's the day that we lost our minds. Won't you take the time for the day that we lost our minds? For the day that we lost our minds. So come along now. Got to be strong now, dear, to sing your song now. So come along now, dear. No hatred of me. Yesterday was fine. It's the day that I